What's going on, everybody? I am the Bad Tech and you are the internet. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about something that's really important to me. That the SAG and WGA strikes are still going on at this current moment as the time of filming, and I miss talking about movies. We're not going to talk about movies because that's against the strike rules, and I don't want to do that because those people, they deserve to get paid. Instead, we're going to talk about the movie theater and how we should all behave in the movie theater, and more specifically, movie theater icks. What I hate to see in the movie theater. The movie theater is very important to me. I always advocate for going to movies because, first of all, those chains are on thin margins, particularly close margins on a normal basis. And, well, that's how we get our favorite things to get made again, or supporting the art of filmmaking. It's very important to me. When those things get disrespected, I get very, very angry. But yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about. Now, these might seem kind of like simple, and like, yeah, these are the normal rules that they set out for you at the beginning of every movie you go to. Yes, that's the thing. People disrupt normal rules. First of all, using your phone in a movie theater. Pretty simple. Every movie, they tell you to turn off your phone, put it on silent, whatever. And a lot of people don't listen to that. That could be because we're all addicted to our phones. Even me. I get it. It's hard. When you have a new notification, you want to read it right away because it might be something important. You might need to attend to something. I get it. And you know what? There's stuff to go around stuff when it's actually an important issue. When, you know, somebody needs to make an urgent call, they can bypass that sleep mode or movie theater mode or do not disturb. They can bypass that. There's a way to do that. Especially on iPhones. I'm not sure about Android, but Android's always ahead of iPhone, so I don't doubt it. But, like, seriously, I've had people take phone calls in the middle of movie theaters. I had someone play fucking poker, I believe, in my viewing. If you don't want to be at the movie theater, don't go to the movies. I understand that it's an easy way to have a date, and it's an easy way to just, like, turn off for 2 hours, but, man, if you're gonna be on your phone, do not do it in the theater. Leave. Sit up outside. And if you really wanting to watch the movie and be on your phone at the same time, I get it. I have ADHD. I do it all the time. I put a movie on. I play my phone. I play video games and watch Naruto at the same time. I get it. Sometimes that's just how we view things. If you're gonna do that, do not do it in a public forum. It's annoying. It distrusts people, and it irks me. It's a very much an ick for me. It's a disgusting behavior from people that I literally, they say at the beginning of every movie, turn off your phone or put it on silent, and you're outright disobeying that. Now, kind of like segueing into the use of cell phones, filming or posting the movie on social media, bonus points if you're using Flash. And if you're thinking that this is insane, that this has happened, I want to go to your movie audiences. Your movie audiences must be much better than mine. Filming the movie happens a lot. You know, it's how we get our torrents online before, like, when the movie first comes out. But also posting on social media. This happened a lot when I was in high school, around 2016. This also happens a lot nowadays. I see people who come out and they just post on Snapchat, but they use the fucking Flash middle of the fucking movie, and it disrupts everyone. And I'm not a very confrontational person. I'll try not to be confrontational. It's just not in my being, but like, I've yelled at people for that. It's annoying. It disrupts people, especially when I'm behind them. They're literally filming the movie. You can, because those screens, as dark as you want to get them in a dark movie theater when it's pitch black besides the screen, it's very disruptive when you have another screen in front of you. Please get the fuck off your phones. They literally tell you to not be on your phones. So I'm done talking about cell phones in the movie theater. It's really annoying. Don't use it. It's another one of my icks is kids. Bring your kids is perfectly fine if they're well behaved. If your kid is not well behaved, do not bring them to a movie. If your kid cannot sit in that chair for 2 hours and watch the movie, do not bring them to the movie. This is pretty simple. Do not bring your kids if they cannot handle being patient or just watching the movie for 2 hours. They can't just sit in there. Again, I have ADHD. It can get hard to sit in through things, especially if they're really bad. They're more easily entertained than I am. So, like, if a kid can't handle that, don't bring him there. Going off of this is, do not bring your kids to rated R movies. Back in 2019, when there was a certain movie that came out that was popular with kids because it was based off a DC Comics property, but it was rated R, a lot of people brought their kids. And, well, to say the least, that movie was not suited for kids. So that was a disturbing movie that was not meant for kids. That's why it's rated R. And if a kid is not mature enough to handle rated R, do not bring them there. I had kids crying in my theater because of that. And if your kid cannot handle whatever the subject matter might be, whether it be a horror movie with the jump scares, or the gore, or that be a disturbing portrayal of, real life events. We have those movies. Do not bring them to the movies. It's that simple. If your kid cannot behave themselves, do not bring them to the movie. They cannot do it. Hire a babysitter if your kid cannot behave himself. I understand it can be quite expensive. Or just, wait for it to come on streaming. Wait for it to drop on VOD. One last part about the kids. Do not hand them an iPad in the middle of the theater. It's happened to me before. Do not hand the kid an iPad in the middle of the theater. This happened recently, I believe in Brazil, during a viewing of Barbie, where there was an all-out brawl that started. I will post that video, and it should be on the screen for you if it's not already. It's a big issue. I understand iPad kids exist nowadays, and it can be really annoying for a lot of people. In public, really. I go to Costco, and there's an iPad kid. It is annoying. That's just a normal basis in a crowded grocery store. Now take that into a quiet theater that's dark. You're putting a bright screen and a loud noise in the middle of a dark place that can be quiet at times. And it's particularly quiet in the crowd, and and those sounds are very much different, because you hear the stereo sounds and you hear the fucking iPad sounds are very much a different sound. And you know what? That's the only time I've ever actually reported someone in the theaters because they gave their kid an iPad in the middle of the theater, which I think was, justified. Moving over to kind of like a little bit of a similar thing that kids do, talking in the theaters. This is also another thing that they talk about at the beginning of the film. Do not talk during the movie. People are trying to enjoy their viewing experience. And I think most people understand this. Now, it hurts my soul when I'm being asked questions by the person next to me. Typically, it's one of my family members that it's like a little bit older, doesn't really watch movies all the time, but they're like, we're gonna go see like the newest, MCU thing or whatever. Typically, I'm just trying to understand what's happening as well, and they're asking me questions about what's happening, doing things. And if they come back from a pee break, I understand, be like, hey, what happened? Understandable, quick fill in. Don't need to do more than like 2 sentences. But like some people will just outright just talk and just be like, yeah, you missed this, blah blah blah. It's annoying, especially when I'm trying to enjoy the movie experience, and then I'm all of a sudden like bombarded with questions because someone got lost, someone wasn't paying attention fully. It's really annoying. I've been asked that by some strangers at one point in time. That was really weird. I'm very social. I'm very antisocial. I do not want to talk to people. That's another reason why I go to the movies. And now another part of the talking thing is speaking your feelings out loud. There's no need to speak them out loud, especially if you don't like the movie. You're like, this is shit! I'm like, cool, great, leave. If you don't like the movie, walk out. I've walked out of movies before. There's no really particularly, reason that you need to stay. Leave, go. Go enjoy the rest of your day if you do not enjoy this. I get it. Some movies are just not for everyone. But, man, people are trying to enjoy their time. I go to the movies for 2 reasons. Because I make this part of my job, and second of all, I enjoy the theater. I enjoy the experience. I enjoy watching movies. And I don't need to hear you bombarding about your own opinion in the middle of the theater at 10 times the volume of a normal talking person. I don't want to hear you yelling and crossing. And you know what? I'm really okay with a joke being cracked every so often when it's a bad movie and everyone knows it's a bad movie. A lot of people did it during Morbius, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. Or I've heard people when there's a scene with gay representation or a black woman, and people they're racist and homophobic about it, and literally I want to punch them. That's not legal though, which is annoying. We need to fix that. Is sitting next to someone in an empty theater, and this has gotten worse with the amazing invention that is assigned seating. I should not go open my Cinemark app, pick a seat an hour before the movie starts, and you pick a seat right next to me. That's weird. And you know what? If it was a crowded theater, makes sense, obviously. But it's an empty theater, and I have had people sit right next to me, and I don't want to assume because it's rude to assume, but typically these are men who do not sell well, who are much older than I am, and I think they're hoping it's a singular woman in the theater by themselves. That's creepy. It's creepy to sit next to someone in general in an empty theater when they're by themselves. That's weird. That's really, really weird. Like, please do not harass people because they want to go enjoy something. Why in all these seats? There's like 100 and something seats, 30 to 40, and sometimes in smaller theaters in a theater. And you decide to pick the one seat next to me. It's really fucking weird. Again, if it's a packed theater, makes sense. I understand if this is next to people, it's kind of annoying, but you know what? Whatever. Do not sit next to people randomly. Or if you just in non-assigned seats showings and you go into a movie theater and you see there's no one else, do not sit next to the only person. It's weird. It's creepy. I feel uncomfortable typically when it happens to me, and I will scoot over. I will go like 10 seats over because I don't want to talk to people in the first place. I don't want to sit next to people in the first place. So why would I want to sit next to you in this empty theater? And then one of the last parts we have about this is do not mess with the employees. There has been several times in the last few years where employees have been basically fucked over. They do not get paid enough. They get paid minimum wage or a little bit more, and they do not deserve your harassment. There was a showing, I think, back in 2020, where a bunch of teenagers went dressed as certain characters and threw bananas at the screen. There's been other incidents where there was a guy on Twitter who went viral because he pours his popcorn all over the aisle so that the workers have something to clean up. If you're these type of people, please stop. You're not funny. You're not cool. You're not, I'm helping the economy. No, you're not. You're just harassing people. There's no reason to do that. Please leave them alone. They do not get paid enough. But that's gonna be all from me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I am the Bad Duck, and you are the internet. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Tell me what of your movie icks that you have. And you know what? Check out the merch. There's more in the store, in the bio down below. Remember to subscribe, it's always free. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.